Good morning and welcome. It's Monday and it's freezing here. I'm only wearing a t-shirt, but I only took my hoodie off because I wanted to wear this t-shirt on stream today. But I'm cold. My fingertips are cold. My arms are cold. It's freezing here. In a bit of good news, though, I had a heater installed in my garage. It was something I always wanted, a warm garage in the winter, something you could turn on when you wanted to go out there and spend some time cutting wood or doing whatever. And I had it installed a couple of weeks ago, and yesterday was the first real trial run I gave for it. And I had a couple of buddies over to watch the Super Bowl last night, and I thought, man, it would be so great if we could heat up the garage so it wasn't freezing. And it worked awesome. I was really, really surprised at how nice and warm my garage was. Now, it wasn't like I was sweating or it was too warm. I mean, I could feel the cold. But I didn't have a coat on. I didn't have gloves on. I didn't have a hat on like we've done for some of the other football games we've watched this winter. It was very, very comfortable. So I'm very, very pleased that my garage now can be warm when I want it to be. That's super cool. In other news, I think I may have mentioned, hey, Hawk 2000, I may have mentioned this last week, but this is from this t-shirt, and a number of others I'll be wearing this week are from a company called Homage, Homage. And they're based here in Columbus, Ohio, but they make all sorts of cool t-shirts and hoodies and stuff, primarily revolving around sports, but there's a lot of other pop culture stuff. And forever, I've always been a little frustrated with their sizing because I was heavier. Certainly I was heavier than I am now, but I didn't feel like I was a double X kind of person, like 2XL kind of person. And in their clothing, I always had to wear a 2XL. And so one of the ways I've been measuring my success in this weight loss journey that I've been on is that I bought some new clothes from them, and this is a large. This is a men's large. So I went from double XL, snug double XL, to now I'm wearing a men's large, and it's a little loose. Feels good. Pretty happy with that. So that's what's going on with me. I'm cold. It's cold here. For those of you in Europe, it is what do we say? It's about. Let me do my calculation again. Alexa, what's 10 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius?
10 degrees Fahrenheit is minus 12.2 degrees Celsius.
It's minus 12 Celsius here today, or 10 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's only supposed to get much colder this week. It's actually going to be this weekend. It's going to be 4 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about negative 20 Celsius. That is colder than it normally gets here. It's not unusually cold, but that is colder than it normally gets here in Ohio. Although we have had some years, a couple years ago, we had the polar, no, what did they call it? Polar vortex, where we had a whole bunch of cold air pushed down from Canada. And it got down to like negative 20 Fahrenheit, which is significantly colder. So yeah, we're staying warm here. Lots of heaters. I mean, my house has a like. Mom! Oh, my mom must be here. We have central heating unit in our house, so our house is very comfortable, very warm. No problems there. But man, it's cold outside, and I'm not in any hurry to go out there. So I think that's most of it. I think that's most of what I've got going on. It was a pretty uneventful weekend. Oh, you're in St. Paul, Minnesota. I've got nothing to complain about, Father Goblin. You've got me beat in every regard when it comes to cold weather. That is cold. Whew. I've been to Minnesota in the winter. It's cold. But here we are. We're here on a Monday, and we've got some stuff to do. I probably can't do a full 2 hours today. I've got some things that I need to get done. But we'll at least get an hour into this, and I have some questions for all of you, and I have some decisions that I have to make as we get into building. So Grumpy Monk, it's 55. That's ridiculous. That's obnoxious. 55 degrees is cold. 55 degrees is shorts weather here. High 50s, low 60s is my favorite temperature to go golfing if the sun is out. Snowstorm of the century only brought a few centimeters of snow. You lived in the U.S. from 2000 to 2002. The winter of 2001, there was a snowstorm of the century, but it only brought a few centimeters. Yeah, it depends on where you live in this country. Obviously, the United States is a big country. But if you live just east of the Great Lakes, you get a ton of snow there. You obviously get a ton of snow if you're anywhere in the mountains. But otherwise, it's pretty good. I mean, we've had the same 6 inches of snow on same 6 inches of snow on the ground for a couple of weeks now, and there's no sign of it going away, but we also haven't gotten more, so it's not like it's adding to it.
Why are you following me?
Sbaumnu, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the show. We're here talking about weather and cold, but we're actually going to let's fix some things. If we go to Twitch, Major Lift will be here any moment to tell me that I've not changed my category, so I should do that. Science. I really need to. I just never spend the time to do it, but I need to figure out why it changes my category all the time. Anyway, that's why we're here. That's what we're doing, and we're building an Alexa trivia game. And so one of the things that I wanted to work on today, and some decisions that I have to make, are how I want a user to be able to create a custom quiz. Because right now they can come in and they can be like, "Give me a sports question." In fact, let's take a look at that. If I say, give me a sports question, it'll just give me the one question and I can do that. Maybe.
Here is a question from the sports and games category. The properties in the board game, Monopoly, are named after locations in or near what U.S. city?
Okay, so that's my sports and games question, right? And I get the one question, and then I can say something like Atlantic City, and it'll tell me I got it right or wrong.
Bingo. You got that one right.
Cool.
The answer to that question was Atlantic City, New Jersey. What should we do this time?
So that's great. I'm able to ask one question, but what I want to do is let the user create a custom quiz where they get 10 questions from 10 different categories. And they can kind of do it at their own pace. There's going to be two kinds of quizzes in this game. There is the first one, which is what I just described. At any time you want, you can just say, create a quiz for me, and it's going to create a 10-question quiz. Now, this is meant to be a challenge for you because you don't just get one category. You can't just focus in on sports or whatever. You're going to be given questions from 10 different categories. But we have 20 categories in the game, so you're not getting all of them. But this is something you can do at your own pace, something when you just want to entertain yourself or play a little bit, which is kind of how I feel like a lot of people will play this. And then we'll have a very parallel experience, which is a daily game. And the daily game is something that you only get to try once. And the daily game will be new every single day, and it'll be questions that have never been in the system before. So when you play the daily game, you'll never hear a question you've heard before because it'll be a brand new set of 10 questions every single day. The catch with the daily game, and I haven't decided how I'm going to treat the game that you can play anytime, because that'll just pick random questions from the database. I haven't decided how I want to do this, but for the daily game, if you get a question wrong, you're done. So there are 10 questions in the daily game, and if you get the third one wrong, you're just done. That's it. That's all you get. But if you can finish all 10, there will be some kind of big celebration or achievement or points or something. I don't know what that measurement's going to be yet. Screechrat says it's snowing this morning southwest of Chicago, so it's on my way. It's on its way. That's not the kind of news I want. Let's take a look at Columbus, Ohio. See what that radar looks like. So far, so good. What if I zoom out a little bit, though? See, a lot of the Chicago weather, if it goes horizontal, will hit Cleveland, it'll go over the lakes, and it dumps up on, there's Gold Zulu. There is the weather that's traveling through here. So all this blue splotchy stuff is snow, but it looks like it's probably going to stay north of me, I think. If we look at the hourly forecast, maybe. What happened to your website, AccuWeather? If we go to the hourly, we getting snow today? Yeah, it looks like maybe tonight we'll get a little bit of snow. That's nice. It's nice. I don't mind snow. What does daily look like? Morning snow, very cold. As you can see, it's getting down here to like 16, which is like -3. Or that's -3 is the low. My son was supposed to go camping this coming weekend with his Boy Scout troop. And they were going to go skiing on Saturday, and we've backed out. He's just going to go do the skiing part, but sleeping outside when it's -3, that's a little too cold, I think. Anyway, that is what we're doing. We've got our skill. Hey, Rick, Gold Zulu, Hawk 2000. Welcome, everybody. When will this be up and running so I can play the game? Great question, Jan Blank. So we could start a beta anytime. The problem is that there's a lot that this doesn't do yet. So I would expect we're probably another few weeks away from getting this to the point where I can make it available to all of you and you can start playing it. But we're on our way. We're making good progress. The problem is I only work on it for like an hour or two every day, if that. And so I don't always get enough time to do this. So what we want to be able to do first is think about what our intents look like. So we have these intents: question intent, specific question intent, category list. So the first thing that we really need in order to be able to start a quiz is we need an intent to do that. So let's come into our intents and we'll let's do we'll just call this quiz intent. And I guess we'll have another one that's like the daily quiz intent, I guess, but we're not building that yet. So we'll worry about that when we get there. This is going to be start a quiz. Play a game. Start a game. Give me a quiz. Let's do a quiz. What are some other things we could do this? Let's play a game. That's a good start. That's enough to test. Again, we're going to go back and revisit all of our interaction model stuff later, but we can at least get our quiz intent into a good place and catch those requests. And then we have to, of course, build the quiz and do all the things and get it all moving forward. So that is that's the plan for today. That's what we're going to try and do, is get these kinds of utterances to do what we want them to do. And let's play a game seems like a good starting point. So that's building, but we don't really need to be there right now. So let's come into our code and let's look at our Lambda function. And we start at the very beginning. We have an index file. And that index file has all of our handlers, right? These are all the things that handle all the things that people say. And so we have a quiz intent handler that we're going to need to create. So we'll put that here. We'll just copy this one and make a copy like that. And this is going to be quiz intent handler. And that means this is going to be the quiz intent. And that means this is going to be quiz intent. So this gives us our handler. We need to add it down here to the bottom of our list. So this will be a more popular thing. We'll do this right here. Quiz question, quiz rate. Okay, so now we can actually call this thing. That's the start. But now we need to build the code here, this thing that actually creates and responds to the quiz. And what this is going to do is mix up a lot of the things that we've already built, like the question and the answer intents. In a perfect world, we're actually going to use those as a mechanism for everything else that we're doing. So we will be hopefully passing off the responsibilities of the question and the answer intent into things that let us kind of redirect. So the question intent will be something that the quiz intent uses, hopefully. And the answer intent will still be where the user comes in when they give their answer, but we'll have to detect that they're inside a quiz and then funnel them back to a place where we can give them the next question. So that the thing that is primarily different about a quiz versus a question is with a question, here's how the flow works. Give me a sports question. Here's your sports question. Then the user answers. Then we say, hey, you're right. What do you want to do now? And that's kind of the end of that flow, right? It just kind of terminates. With a quiz, however, we have to mix it up a little bit more. We have to do start a quiz. Okay, you started a quiz. Here's your first question. User answers. And then we have to say, hey, you got that right or wrong. And here's question 2. All of that has to be kind of provided all at the same time. It's all one response. And so that creates us a much tighter loop as we go through that quiz. So I just want to make sure you guys understand. That's kind of
Developers.
There he is. Good morning, Zach, man. All right, so that is quiz intent. That's what we want to build. So in our handlers, we need a, let's find a simple one like launch. And let's save this as quiz intent. And then we got to change it up. Quiz intent. Quiz intent here. And then we have a bunch of stuff in here, but we don't really need most of it. So I'm going to just comment it out for now because we may need it later. I don't think we need that for now. And we'll probably need session attributes. So we'll hold on to that. So this is when the user has said, start a quiz. Again, this is the only time that we really end up in this place is when they want to start a new game. So there's a couple of pieces here that we need to look at. I'm just going to write some rules for myself, I guess, as I think about this, because there's going to be some conditions that we're going to run into as we hit this quiz intent. 2. Do they already have an active quiz in progress? That's a great question to ask. We don't care about it right now, but that's something we're going to need to know eventually. In this case, right now, every time you hit the quiz intent, I'm just going to start a new quiz for you. So that's something we should restore it. We should restore it. What other things, if they say start a quiz, what other things might we want to keep in mind? If they say start a quiz, they may or may not have started a quiz. That's great. That's something that we need to check and verify. But then if they haven't started a quiz, I don't think we have any real concerns here. We should start the quiz. I think that's really it. So again, we're going to skip that first part. So we just need to start the quiz. So the first thing that we really want to do is let's take a step back. So we need to select 10 random categories. That's first. We need to select 10 random categories. But once we've selected the 10 random categories, then we need to select a random question from each category. And we need to save all of this information in a table so that we can retrieve it in the future. Okay, so I think those are going to be our first chunks here. Is our quiz intent needs to go get 10 random categories. And that should be relatively easy to do because we have a get category list. That's not going to work for me. Get full list. We need to go into data. That's that in here we have get category list. And all this does is returns to me a list of the categories. So we're going to be able to reuse this function, which is always really nice. So let's start there. Const category list equals data.get category list. And in there, I'm going to pass nothing. I pass it literally nothing. Okay. So yes, we want to get 10 distinct categories, Gatal. So this is getting me the full list of 20. And then what we want to do is something where we're going to eliminate 10. And that's probably the easiest way to do this is just to eliminate 10. Is that right? I could just, let's think about this. I could just shuffle the array and then take the first 10. That's probably easiest. And I've done this. Let's open a file that I've done before. Open a file. We're going to go to Chatsino Alexa Lambda Chatsino. And in here I have dec and I have shuffle. This is a function that I have that will basically shuffle an array. So I feel like this would be a good thing to just use. Let's save this as into our TKO Trivia Lambda helper. We'll call this shuffle array. So this needs to become shuffle array. And I'll rearrange the words dec because I don't want that to persist on, but we will let's add it to this too. So this is going to be const shuffle array equals something like that. And this is that. So we now have shuffle array in our index. And then instead of dec, I'm just going to call it array. Okay. So this will shuffle up my array. So I should now be able to say category. No, I can't do that. If I have my 10 categories that I want, I think I can just do. I need to shuffle that category. So let's call this full category list. And I can say const category list equals helper dot shuffle array, where we're going to shuffle full category list. And then I think I can do this where I could just say like length equals 10. I think JavaScript will let me do that. Can I assign a length to a JavaScript? Well, to make it smaller. Yeah. You can set the length property to truncate an array at any time. The number of actual elements does not increase. For example, you set the length to 3 when a current is 2. The array still only contains 2 elements. Is that an anti-pattern? Let's see. What do people say here? Is it bad to use code like this? 3 and 4 are removed. Nobody seems to think it's bad. It certainly makes things a lot easier. It's better to use slice because your intentions are clear. That's fair. So slice does create a new array, though. Well, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay, so let's use slice instead. So I think we can just do this. And we're going to say 0. And this is end. The index to end, the subscript includes the characters up to, but not including the character indicated by end. If this value, no, it's string.slice. I don't want string.slice. Okay, we're going to do it my way. That's fine. So this is going to, we're going to go back. Changes the contents of an array by removing or replacing existing elements. The index it waits to start changing the array. The greater the length of the array start will be set as the length. If greater than the length of the array start will be set to the length of the array. If this is the case, no element will be deleted, but the method will behave as an adding function, adding as many elements as n provide. Okay. But the return value here is the deleted elements. I don't really want that. I want the ones that were not deleted. Although I suppose it doesn't really matter, right? I could take the last 10 just the same as I could take the first 10. Remove one element in index 3. Okay, I could live with this. So splice is a tricky function. Because it does a bunch of stuff. Not only is it splicing and deleting elements, but it's also adding new ones potentially. So you're saying, okay, so we could do splice. start the zero base location number from which to start removing elements. Well, that would be 10. So I want 0 through 9. So 10 is the spot. And delete count is going to be 10. All right, so let's play with this. This is a good thing to explore. So we'll do a console.log log, and we'll do it for full category list, so that we'll get to see what the whole list look like. And then we'll do a console.log, and we'll get to see what the spliced list looks like. So this will also make sure that we have all of our rigging set up for quiz intent, which I just realized we do not because it's not here. Quiz intent. That would have failed pretty hard. Quiz intent. Down here, question is okay. Now I think we're good. I think we should be able to say, let's go back to our intents to make sure. Start a game. We should be able to say that. Start a game. What do we get?
Something is definitely very broken. If only I could fix it myself. Sorry for the inconvenience. I've notified our developers. Let's start over.
Helper.
What would you like to do now?
Dot shuffle array. Dot split. Okay, so what you want there, which is fine. I just need a couple more parentheses. Quiz intent. This needs one of them and one of them. This also needs a thing. I think both of those should solve my problem. Okay. Let's try that again. Start a game.
Whoops. It looks like one of our programmers broke something. I will let them know
I mean,
and have them
my
fix it
function
as soon
should
as
fail
possible.
anyway. I was okay
In the
with an
meantime,
error.
would you like to ask for a random question or start a new quiz?
Speak output is not okay. That's fine. I just need to fix that. So speak output for now. Little War Games reference there. Would you like to play a game? Yeah, that'll be interesting to see, Rick. Actually, let's add that one too. We'll do the same thing. If we take this, you can look at all three this way. See what we get. Start a game.
Would you like to play a game?
Well, that worked. So let's see what we actually logged out here. So we have full category list is an array of 20 things. So we can already see that this is working. This one, if we open it up, you're not going to give me any of the data I want. Okay, so TJOR, what? TJOR, GUXH, and if we look at this one, this is the other 10. So I wouldn't expect to see any repeats there here. So the question is, which ones do I really want? Do we want the 10 that we took off? Or do we want the 10 that stuck around? I think we probably could just do this. We could not set category list. We could make this category list. I wonder if we could tighten everything up here. Do this all as one. So helper.shuffle array. Wrap that around this. And then we could wrap this in parentheses and do our splice at the end. So, and I know I'm taking the deleted 10, but I don't think I really care. That lets me do everything in one line. I mean, we're going to test that, but that feels like it will give me 10 random categories, which is what I'm really going for. So let's start a game.
Would you like to play a game?
Cool. So that gets me a list of 10 categories. Awesome. I think ultimately this is the quiz intent. This isn't where I actually want to do this work. So we should have a, I guess it's a data function, which is create quiz. Or get quiz. I guess it would be get quiz because I'm going to be, no, like there's a put and a get in this. How do I want to handle that? I guess it's like, do I have any place else where I'm get specific achievement? No. Award achievement is just an insert. That should really be like put achievement, but that's okay. So we're aggregating a bunch of data, saving it to the database, and then returning it. I think that's still like get quiz. So we'll do that. In here, get quiz.js. Async function get quiz. Because this might also be a tool that we can use as a mechanism to solve the hey, do they already have a quiz problem? I don't know what I'm going to pass into this yet, but we'll just start. So this is going to be module.exports equals get quiz. And then this needs to go in here. Get right here, const get quiz equals. Okay. Get quiz is now in the system. This should allow me, if I look at any of the other get category list, whatever, I have helper, get achievement speech. So we're going to take this and instead now we're going to say const quiz equals data.get quiz. And then this piece here is where we're going to start doing things like this. So the couple of things that we need, we should be able to bring in helper. And then we will need get category list separately. So this becomes let's get category list. And then that should still do the same thing. So now inside our get quiz function, we have this. And eventually we're going to be returning some kind of quiz object. We don't really know what that looks like, but that's what that's going to do, is it's going to return to us a quiz. So for now, let's just return like def. And then in here, instead of this, and at least make sure that everything's working. So we should say, would you like to play a game? Hi, Jeff. Let's see if it does that. Start a game.
Would you like to play a game? Object promise.
Cool. I forgot to await this. That's all it was. Start a game.
Would you like to play a game? Hi, Jeff.
Okay. So that is structurally sound. So now we're calling out to get quiz. Now get quiz can go do all the nonsense that it needs to do. So the first step was we need to get the categories. I almost feel like, how do I want to do this? I almost feel like it's very tempting to choose the questions right now too. Oh, Major Lift, you just got here too late. I fixed it like 10 minutes ago. I am very much still forgetful. We are still in the good old days. Don't you worry. So I'm able to shuffle my array, get the category list, get the 10 categories. At this point, I feel like I could just create a quiz for them, save it to my database that has the categories themselves. And then when it's time to ask them a question, I could randomly pick the question then. I don't need to pick it now. Is there a reason that I would need to pick it now? I don't think so. And I have a function here, get specific question, that lets me pass in a specific question number. So I could, and then I'd get random question. This just takes a category ID, which I would have with my categories. Yeah, I feel like that's maybe the right call, is I could just go get a random question at the time that I need it, and the quiz itself is just passing the category. Interesting. Okay, so I've started some of the data structure for this. I have a quiz. This is going to be the user's quiz. So this is when we created the quiz. Then here, I was thinking that I was going to save the 10 questions. But I think instead, I'm going to add the category. So this is just going to be category. And I'll save that. And then when they actually ask the question, I could update this record with the instance of the question, which technically will still live here. So the difference is I would know like which questions were right or wrong in quizzes versus the other. I don't even know that I really need that, but that would at least let me know how they did on the quiz, because I need to know which question instances were for the quiz itself. So when I create the quiz, stop one is to create a quiz record ID. So we have to create a record here with the user. That's easy to do. That's put quiz or something like that. And then when we get my list of categories, I'm then going to make a second call into quiz question where I'm going to add 10 records for the 10 categories. We're going to need an order. This is just going to be a number, an integer, in fact. And that will be 1 to 10. So I'll create my field for that so that I know what order to ask those categories in. And then we'll have a question instance and whatever else. So I think this is a good start. So let's go back here. Let's get into our get quiz, and step 1, create the quiz record. Get the list. Wow, list of categories. We're doing that. Save the categories in order to the quiz. I call that table. Quiz question table. That's not appropriate. That's not appropriate naming, so we'll have to think about that. Question table. Return the newly constructed is. Okay, so step 1, create the quiz records. So this is going to look like const quiz equals put quiz. 8. Put's fine. Put quiz. The quiz has no data other than user. There's no other data other than the user. So how do we want to do that? Trying to think about how I want to handle this situation. So I have put quiz. I got to go to my table. My table, and I have this quiz table. So I need to pass in the user because I need the user ID, and that's going to be it. We're just going to create. We're going to have a new like put quiz function where we pass in a user ID. So that means get quiz needs a user ID, which means this here is going to be session attributes user.fields.record ID. Okay, that's my user ID. So that means here we're going to have a user ID. I wonder if I should just pass user. Well, we'll find out. Then put quiz is going to need that user ID to come through. And then we need to create put quiz. So let's put user session. We'll use this as a model. Save as. And we're going to call this put quiz. Okay. Put quiz. We'll get to all the specifics in a second. This is going to be the user quiz. Is that right? What did I call that? No, I just called it quiz. Okay, we'll call it quiz. We're going to insert some values, and then this is going to be put quiz. So this is mostly done. The only piece that we need to fix is, actually, that's already done too. Glorious. All right, so this is done. This function is done. So we need to take this and what we're going to do is come into the index and add a put quiz, which is going to go right here. So, and like so. Great, we have put quiz. That's all good. Get quiz, now we're putting a quiz. So this I need this piece too. Let's put quiz equals require put quiz like so. All right, so that gets me put quiz. So that should insert that record and give me back my quiz record. Now the next thing is we get the category list of categories. We did that. Then we need to make a call into the database to save those categories into the table. So this is going to require us to create something like put quiz that we just had a second ago. But instead of just having this one value, we're going to have an array of values that we pass through, and we'll use the Airtable API to get that code for us. So this is putting a quiz. The next step is and again we still have this logic that we need. This is going to live in here now. So make sure we don't forget that. Do they already have an active quiz? Because we're putting a quiz only if they don't already have one. Otherwise, we'll go get the one they had. So that'll be some logic that lives up here at the top. Otherwise, quiz intent is fine for now. So put quiz is good. And the other table is called quiz question. I still don't love that naming. But I think that's what it's going to be. So we're going to create another one of these. Save as. Put quiz questions. I'm going to say questions because specifically we're going to do them at once. So this is going to be quiz question. means this goes here. Put quiz Why don't you like that? Put quiz question. Put quiz question. Oh, because it's S. I just said I'm pluralizing this on purpose, and then I didn't do it. Okay, so in here we don't need a user ID. What we need is the category array. And we need to look at the Airtable API because I never remember how to do this. That's what I meant. API. API. Let's go down to our table. And let's look at how we insert a bunch of records into that table. This is the quiz question table. We want to insert, create records. And you can also include, so this is what I want. So I want to look at the JavaScript. And what I want to do, you can see that I'm saying quiz question create, and then I have an array. And the array sits just right there like that. And so the array is each of the individual things that I'm going to put in there. So how are we doing that here? We have values. Yeah, see, their multiple is like a slightly different syntax. But I think all I really want to do is pass in an array. So I think I can just tweak this up a little bit, where this becomes an array of things, create values, and then I still have all the rest of the stuff. But it's resolve record. I don't know if I can do that piece. I don't even really care. Do I care? Do I care? I don't think I care. I mean, obviously I want to resolve it, but I'm not actually going to use this. So what we need to do is construct values with this array. And I wonder if I have this category list right now. And the category list is the objects that I got from category. So it's going to be record ID, name, question count, ask count. I don't care about any of that stuff, but it's fine. What I care about is the record ID primarily. And I need to make it look like I need an object for each one of these that has the quiz ID and the category ID. The rest of this will be updated later on the order. Quiz, category, order. So our object here is going to be quiz. This is going to be static, but we do need the quiz ID. So this goes here. Then we need the category. And this is going to be category ID. So in an example, this would be category array 0.fields.record ID. Because that's what I'm getting there. And then the last piece would be, and how do I best want to think about this? The last piece is the order. That's going to be my incrementer. So we have a loop in our future here. So let's let values equal an array, then for var I equals 0, I is less than category array dot length I plus plus. And we're just going to say that values dot push. And in here, we're going to create a new object. And the object is going to look a lot like this thing. So the quiz will always be the quiz ID. The category, this is going to be category array I, fields.record ID. And then the order is going to be I plus 1. Because I want the orders to be, do I care about that? No. We'll just make it I. I was thinking I want it to be 1 through 10, but it doesn't really matter. It can be 0 through 9. And then I just need to translate that when I speak to the user. But I'll store it like an array. 0 to 9. Okay, so this gives me values, and I can continue to push those values in. And then we save our values into the database. What in the possible chance is there that this will work? Well, this can't be this. This needs to be order, like so. Now, this might actually work. Let's see. Nope, we already have an issue. What's the issue? Identifier values has already been declared. Oh. That would have been bad. I can see that. Okay. Oh, we're already in an hour. All right. Are we started? Are we doing it? I don't feel like we're doing it. Go. What's happening here? What? Put quiz questions, JS 11. I commented out that line. I saved the file. Start the debugger. All right, let's try opening and closing VS Code. That's weird. I don't know why the debugger wouldn't start. What is going on? Did I lose internet connectivity? No. What? There we go. I don't know what that's about. Okay. You still hear and see me. That's good. Start a game. Let's see what happens. Wah, wah. I'm sure there's errors, right?
Would you like to play a game?
What?
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Let's see. Do we get some data? No. We got our quiz record, so that's good. But we didn't get any quiz questions. Is it possible that I just didn't call that code? So get quiz. We put quiz. Yeah, we just didn't. Jeff, come on. Okay, so this gets our list of categories, and we're going to save our list of categories, and that's going to be const. I don't know what to call this. Quiz question equals put quiz questions. Quiz questions, the quiz ID, that's going to be quiz dot fields.record ID. And then I need the category array. That's going to be category list. Nothing else. We'll wait that one also. That should put our quiz questions in the database. Let's see if it actually does that. Give me a new game. Please. Why? Why? I feel like this has to be my fault sometimes. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong where I'm like throwing the debugger and everything off, but I feel like it's something I'm doing.
Welcome to TKO Trivia, the trivia game show where you answer difficult questions and win nothing.
Okay. Start. Okay.
Achievement unlocked.
Oh, nice.
This is the 5th time you've opened TKO Trivia. What should we do next? You can say give me a random question or start today's game.
Okay.
Sorry, what device?
I'm sorry, what?
This is TKO Trivia. If you've
It appears our trivia questions are better than our
I can live with
programmers.
an error.
Something just broke. I'm so sorry about that. You could start a quiz or ask for a question. What should I do?
See, this is that error that I get because I have an error. It's so odd.
Why are you following me?
Wow, thank you for the follow. Welcome. I want to make sure I get your name right. That is Ivanadim. We're gonna go with Ivanadim. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the program. We're just breaking things and making errors and doing all the stuff. I wish I knew what the error was. I hit the quiz intent. I didn't get an error in my code other than the SSML thing, which start a game.
Whoops. It looks like one of our programmers broke something. I will let them know and have them fix it as soon as possible.
Cannot read property
In the
record
meantime,
ID in get
would you
quiz.
like to ask for a random question or start a new quiz?
Because I didn't await. If you guys don't know this, if you want to make an asynchronous call in JavaScript, you have to await it or it won't do the things. Yeah, Rick, I like to make very insulting error messages for myself. And that's a good example of one. Start a game. Come on. Could not find fields in the request body. Error table error. What are you talking about? Could not find the fields in the request body. Put quiz questions. I'm sorry, what? What are you talking about, error table? Well, let's see if we did the thing. Did we created another quiz. We're doing that every time. That's great. Why didn't we get any quiz questions? Quiz, category, order. Cool. And we have quiz, category, order. Those are the values we're passing in. You're saying here.
The requested skill
That's
took
fine.
too long to respond.
I want this error. Invalid request, missing fields. Could not find fields in the request body. Line 16. Well, that's the error from the request. Am I not handling the API properly? So we have base quiz question create, then we give it an array, then we give it some error stuff. So Oh, I see. Okay. I see. So what it wants is this. That should fix it. It wants an array where the base property is fields, and then inside there I dump all my stuff. So I think we could be good. I think so. Start a game, please. Oh, now we're gonna get the what?
Sorry, what device?
Yeah. Okay. Open the trivia game.
This is TKO Trivia.
Cool.
If you thought Jeopardy was challenging,
Start a game.
would you like to play a game? Hi, Jeff.
That's promising. Ta-da! We have now saved a quiz. We've created a quiz for the user, which is this. Then we've chosen 10 random categories for the user. We can let's do this. A lookup on category, and we care about name. And we can see that we have a randomized set of 10 categories for the user. Am I frozen? Yeah, my camera's been real weird. And I was really hoping we were going to do better about this, but it looks like my camera has failed me. So yes, I'm frozen. I'm still here though. It's just the camera. You guys can still hear me fine, right? But we have our. Can you guys you can still see my computer screen though, right? Like all that is working. You can still hear my audio. It's just the camera that is frozen. It's so dumb. I think it has something to do with the Elgato Camlink device. I think that is my issue because the camera seems to be working fine. It's just, it just seems to be that if I unplug that Camlink and plug it back in, it might just work. It might not work. If I move my mouse around. But we have our 10 categories right here in order. And so if I do it again, I should end up with a different set of categories. So let's say start a game again. And this time we should end up with
would you like to play a
10
game?
New categories in a random
Hi,
order.
Jeff.
Awesome. So Ivana Dim thinks it's all okay. It's not frozen. Yeah. So everything else is working good. We're able to create our categories. You should see new data. Yeah, the camera is problematic for me, and I don't really know why, but it is what it is. It's fine. So we're saving our 10 categories to the database. Now let's think about what our next step is. If we close that, get quiz, the next thing is to return the newly constructed quiz. So I'm really torn on this because what I really want, to quote some Spice Girls, is I want to get my quiz. Because now they have an active quiz. And how do I know it's active? How do I treat it with a property? See, Major Lift got it. Have you guys, speaking of Spice Girls, have you guys happened, those of you that may be on Twitter, are you guys aware of this? For those of you guys that aren't familiar with KFC, this is Kentucky Fried Chicken. This is a restaurant here, primarily in the United States, but I've seen them all over the world. It's a fried chicken restaurant. Their food is fine. It's not amazing, but it's not so bad. But if you guys aren't aware of the fact that they have a Twitter account and they've done something so incredibly clever. So one of the things, let's see if we can, we'll start on their website. KFC.com, and if we say about, let's see if we can find. So this is Colonel Sanders. This is the guy that created KFC, and he perfected his secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. This is a secret formula. No one knows the formula or whatever, but that is something that is well known. The 11 herbs and spices that are in the KFC breading that they put on their chicken. So if you didn't know this, KFC is in fact following 11 people on Twitter. And if we go look at the list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 are the Spice Girls, and the last 6 are people named Herb. They are following 11 herbs and spices. I think that's so amazing. I love it. I love it to death. Like, that is such an amazingly fun, cool way to treat your social media. I just think it's so great. So they are following the 5 Spice Girls and these 6 guys named Herb, and that together makes 11 herbs and spices. And I just, I'm in love. I'm in love with that. So if you didn't know that, now you have it. But that's a little story about KFC. So we have gotten our questions saved. What I'm trying to avoid here in my code is calling, maybe I should, but this is like we're almost in a little bit of Inception recursion world. How do we know they have an active quiz? That's still a thing I don't know. How do I know they have an active quiz? Do I have to mark it? Do I have to have another field, which would be very easy to do? Checkbox is active. Let's delete all of our records. I think we're only going to get the rigging for setting up this quiz, but I think we're making good decisions here. So we have this is active property. So that means when I create the quiz, I really need to set is active to true. So in our put quiz, in here we want to add another property, which is going to be is active true. Like that. That should do it. So now if we say start a game, we should start a game and it should be marked as active. Sorry that I'm frozen, guys. I wish I knew why that.
Would you like to play a game? Hi, Jeff.
Okay, so now if we come to our data, we have a new record and it's set to is active. Now, what we can do here is in get quiz, we can say const active quiz equals await get active quiz ID. I think quick quiz is probably going to go inside there, so we'll do that. So we're going to get active quiz. That's going to require us to create a new file, which is something like get. How do I want to think about this? Get specific question. Get user by user ID. It's going to kind of be like this. So we'll use this as our model. Save as, and this is going to be get active quiz. Okay, so we're going to be looking in the quiz table, and the things that we care about are Alexa user ID. That's great, and I don't need all this. All I care about is Alexa user ID, but I also care about active. So let's go to here. No, this. Not even this. Airtable CodePen. Okay. And then have some backend process deactivating old quizzes. It's not even going to be a backend process, Rick. So my thought with the quizzes that you can create yourself is that you can do them over time. So you could do 5 questions now, 5 questions later, 3 questions, whatever. So you can just leave. And when you come back, when you're like, start a game, we can be like, hey, you were in the middle of a game. Do you want to finish it? That's my plan with this. So there is no backend process necessarily deactivating them. I think what will happen is I will start the quiz, and then they could say, like, quit this game or cancel this game or whatever. Or maybe I just make them finish it. But I think that's how I'm thinking about this. So here what I want to say is active I think I can just do that. So if I slap a comma right here and say is active true, I think that will bring me back only the one that I want. And so so if the records equal 0, then let quiz equal put quiz. Don't need this. That'll return quiz. Otherwise, we're going to return the first record, which will be our quiz. And instead of having this down here, we can now say put quiz equals require put quiz. So that will allow us to put a quiz, which is this thing, and we just take a user ID for that. So basically, we're going to try and query the database. If they have an active quiz, we're going to return that and get them moving on it. And if they don't, then we create one and return that to them. And put quiz does only the quiz itself. But put quiz should do more now. Put quiz should also do this stuff. So this is where we put quiz. And we're going to resolve out our record. I don't really... Get quiz shouldn't be doing that work. Get quiz just says, give me the active quiz. And if they don't have one, then it's going to create one and give them that. So I'm putting my quiz here if they don't have an active one. Ooh. But I could do it right here. Get active quiz. This stuff all rigged up properly. Okay. So get active quiz. Oh, man. You see what I'm talking about with the recursion? What I really want to do then is once I've created that thing, then I want to call itself again. Let's see if we can do that. They're going to get mad at me? So clean out our data so we can be sure we know what's going on. So this is quiz, delete. This is quiz question, delete. Okay, I have none of those. We're going to get in my code. We're going to restart the service. We're going to say start a game. And it's not going to error.
It appears our trivia questions are better than our programmers. Something just broke. I'm so sorry about that. You could start a quiz or ask for a question. What should I do?
Get active quiz is not defined? I mean, it's not defined. I should be able to recursively call myself. Oh, I don't know what I want to do here. That's the problem. I'm struggling with what I don't know what I want to do more than how to do it. I want to call from the quiz intent. I just want to say, what is their quiz, right? Go get their quiz for this user. So get quiz runs out and it says, oh, well, get me their active quiz, and then we can, maybe I don't even need this. I could just back it out to get active quiz. But anyway, we have this get active quiz. That's going to come in here, and it's going to say, hey, let's go look in the database for the quiz that the user has. If they don't have one, then we want to create one. But the problem is that creating the quiz is a two-step process. I need to create the quiz to get the quiz ID. Then I need to get a category list. Then I need to get, and then I need to insert those categories into the quiz question table using the quiz ID that I got a second ago. But the thing that I really want to return yeah, no, it's going to get refactored for sure, Goldzula. I'm just trying to think about how best to do this. Because put quiz inserts the quiz record, and put quiz questions inserts the categories, the quiz question categories. I just don't know how I want to handle this. I guess we could create a new function that is the entire logic for creating a quiz, which is create the quiz, get the categories, insert the categories, get the entire quiz object back, return it, which is separate from put quiz or put quiz questions, which are two individual elements of that thing. So inside data, we could do create quiz. And this is still going to need a user ID probably. And so this create quiz is going to do all the stuff that we were just trying to do here. So let's just copy that out. In here, we're going to do this. First, we need put quiz. So we can get that from over here. Put quiz. That's first. Then we need to get our category list that I don't have there. I have get category list. How was I calling that? It's, where did I do that? Put quiz questions. How am I calling that function without ever referring to it? Await. Put quiz questions. I guess we can just put this. And we need this get category list. Get category list. So this gets me most of the way there. This creates the new quiz, gets my categories, inserts the questions, and then what I would love to do is call back to Get Active Quiz, which is the one that gets the active quiz, because it'll exist. Man, this is getting a little circular, but we could say return create quiz user. Robert Tables, my camera is frozen and we're just dealing with it. I'm not going to diagnose it right now, but I think I'm having problems with my Elgato Cam Link. I think that is my problem. So we're just powering through, and we're gonna finish up what we're working on here, and then I'll deal with it for tomorrow. But it's a consistent question, a consistent problem that I'm having. But thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Return create quiz. This is going to become create. Oh, I already have it, so we'll just get rid of this. So here we're going to return create quiz. Create quiz does this stuff and calls back to Get Active Quiz to get, man. We'll see how you guys like all those circular references, but it works. Should work. So now we should get a quiz no matter what. So quiz is empty, quiz question is empty. Start a game. I'm sure there's a bug in here, but.
Something is definitely very broken. If only I could fix it myself. Sorry for the
Get
inconvenience.
Active Quiz is not defined.
I've notified our developers.
In Get Quiz.
Let's start over. What would you like to do now?
Hopefully it's just some simple references that are our issue.
Whoops.
Okay.
It looks like one of our programmers broke something.
Can I read the property
I will
length
let
of
them
undefined?
know
Get Active
and
Quiz.
have them fix it as soon as possible. In the meantime, would you like to ask for a random question or start a new quiz?
Line 15, if the length of the array, because not, I mean, is that what we're landing on? Is that our issue?
Whoops. It looks like one of our programmers broke something.
Cannot read
I
property
will let
0
them
of
know
undefined.
and have them fix it as soon as possible. In the meantime, would you like to ask for a random question or start a new quiz?
So it feels like I'm just getting no data back from my query. This is where we have to go to camera time, where I'm basically just taking my screen off the screen for a second. We're going to try this again, but I'll get to see the URL that's passed through, so you guys get to see that super awesome frozen look of me.
Whoops. It looks like one of our programmers broke something. I will let them know and have them fix it as soon as possible. In the meantime, would you like to ask for a random question or start a new quiz?
So we're just getting... Oh, because it's not Alexa user ID. Oh, that would have been a good thing to catch earlier. So it's just user, right? In quiz. Okay, let's see if we have corrected. If I change this to just user. Unknown field names true. What? How am I doing? I'm sorry I can't let you guys see this piece. How am I doing get random speech or anything that has a checkbox in it? I'm saying, I see. False. Okay. So if we do that, okay. Let's close that and come back to here and turn off my full path property thing. And then I can show you guys what I'm doing. And then everything will go back to working instead of me debugging things that aren't. Okay, here we are. So the thing that I broke was that I said is active true, but I had it like this. It doesn't like that. It wants the capital with the parentheses. That was my issue. And also I had Alexa user ID instead of user. So now I feel like we should be back in business. Still nothing there, still nothing there. So if we say to do that, and then to do this, start a game. Come on, do it. Nope. Helper is not defined in create quiz. Where am I calling helper? Helper. Okay. Would have been nice for you to tell me that. Cool. Open the game. Well, we're doing it.
This is TKO Trivia.
Start a game.
Sorry, what device?
Why do you do that?
This is TKO Trivia. Would you like to play a game? Hi, Jeff.
Whoa. I have a quiz, but I don't have the quiz question stuff. So let's trace through here. I call quiz intent. Quiz intent passes a user record ID to get quiz. Get quiz says, hey, I need to get their active quiz. So we call get active quiz. This calls into the database to see if one exists. If it doesn't exist, then we call create quiz. Create quiz puts a quiz there, gets a category list. I didn't get an error. Why are the records not there? That should have worked. Create quiz. Create quiz does these things. Everybody's getting to work. I can hear all the notifications happening. Why? Why is this happening? Create quiz is doing this. We're getting this piece, right? It's not happening somewhere else. I'm not doing it somewhere else. So when I call create quiz, that is where this is happening. Then we are creating our category list. Get category list exists here. Helper exists here. Quiz questions, put quiz questions is there. And put quiz questions does its thing. But it didn't do it. I didn't do it. Anyone know what movie that's from? That one line? I didn't do it. I don't know why that specific line sticks in my head. Start a game.
Would you like to play a game? Hi, Jeff.
It did not create a new game because my game is active. That's great. I don't think we're going to get to resolve this today because I got to go. All right, so we're gonna leave ourselves a note. Create quiz. This next line doesn't seem to be happening. We should figure this out. Okay, that is where we're going to have to leave off for today. I'm going to go over here to Stream Manager. We're going to find somebody to raid. And yeah, we'll go see Lana yesterday. The last time we went and saw Lana early last week, she was working on some cool stuff, like a actual like 3D game. So we're going to start a raid for that. She's got a ton of people there. So make sure you guys jump in, drop my last name, all caps, say hey. And we'll be back here again tomorrow morning. I'm looking forward to it, but I have to wrap some things for now. So thank you guys all for tuning in. I know you can't see me waving, but it's always a pleasure to have you all here, and I will see you all again tomorrow. By the way, the answer to the question was, what was the movie? The Polar Express. That was the movie, not The Fugitive. Anyway, thanks everybody. Take care.